Night Terrors is an event going on in DC Comics right now. The entire world has been put to sleep. To battle against it, Deadman has taken control of Batman's body and is looking for other people who are awake and is trying to figure out Insomnia's plan. We've discovered that the Nightmare Stone is in someone's nightmares, and that is what Insomnia is looking for. Now that Red Tornado has been killed by his sleepless knights who are looking for the awake soldiers, Deadman is looking for what he should be doing next and who else can help him figure out how to stop Insomnia. This is Comicstorian. I take comic books, turn them into audio dramas so that you know exactly what is going on. The idea is that you know what to add to your collection because you know about the cool world of comic books. Now, let's get into Night Terrors, issue number 3, with Deadman. Dead Batman? I don't know what we should call him. Let me know in the comments down below. Here's Night Terrors number 3. As Deadman and Sandman are pushed further and further into a corner, they realize that they need to figure out a way to lure the constructs away from Mr. Terrific as he hangs defenseless in his sleeping containment tube. But just as the two of them make their way to a window to jump out of it, they get some unexpected help in the form of Batman's son, Damian Wayne, as he leaps in, slicing through the sleepless knights. While Damian gets to work on the next of them, Sandman asks, "How old is this kid?" Damian yells back, "How old are you? You're still wearing a fedora. Just get to the roof so that we can get out of here." As the three of them make it outside, the bat plane hovers in the air. Everyone jumps onto the rope ladder just in time to escape. As everyone climbs inside of it, Deadman tells Damian that his father would be proud of him. But Damian spins back, drawing his sword. "Stop literally putting words in my father's mouth. I and my father have been possessed enough times. Get out of his body, now!" Deadman sighs. All right. And Deadman exits Batman's body, with Sandman asking Damian how he's even awake. "I had a nightmare. Insomnia was in my dreams. He wanted me to forget, so I trained my mind to control my dreams, but also the art of staying awake. I've used every single meditation technique that I've ever learned. The whole world has been asleep for a few hours, but for me, it feels like it's been weeks. I can still feel the nightmares pulling at me." Deadman says that they need to know more about what Insomnia knows if they're going to find the Nightmare Stone before he does. And Sandman asks, "Aren't you still connected to him?" Deadman looks at him. "Well, I could take a peek." Deadman begins to concentrate as he connects his mind back with Insomnia to find any sort of lead, but sees him before he changed into Insomnia. He goes back to a time when Insomnia was attending a survivors meeting. The speaker tells him that they're glad that he joined their session. He does seem a bit on edge. Insomnia finishes his coffee. "Yeah, I haven't slept in days. I'm doing everything that I can to keep my eyes open. I got arrested trying to buy something to stay awake, but the cops knew my story and just let me off the hook." The speaker says what happened to him was traumatic. A tragedy that no one should ever have to endure, but he needs rest. And hopefully one day, he can forgive the Justice League. But that is what infuriates Insomnia, as he takes the coffee pot, smashing it over the speaker's head. "Forgive them! I'll show you!" He begins to stab the speaker with the broken shards of glass, and then his attention turns to the other people until he's the only one left. He looks at the piece of glass. "All I want is for everyone to have their eyes open to the truth. But to do that, I'll have to lead by example and remove my own eyelids." After making quick slices, Insomnia smiles. "I'll never sleep again. Not until the Justice League pays for what they've done. But I wouldn't go any further. Deadman, you won't like what you find in here." As Deadman is pushed back out, he screams, and Sandman says that he hopes that it was worth it. Deadman begins to think about what he might have been. Insomnia was growing frustrated and he couldn't find the stone. It's not in the nightmares of the heroes or the villains. So Damian then says that the only other place that it would be is somewhere between the waking and the dreaming. Sandman stands up and tells him that if that's the case, I might be of some help. Later, at Wayne Enterprises, Sandman is collecting the ingredients, stating that in his past life, he was a chemist, before he was raised from the dead and turned into a zombie. That's how he developed his special sleep gas. Over the years, he experimented with different formulas and concoctions. Some of them could put people into comas, and others could manipulate the dreams and the nightmares. Now, this formula will put them all into a state where they're not quite awake, but they're not quite dreaming. Are you sure you want to do this, Damien? Damien tells him that if Deadman fails, which is likely, he will continue. This is partially his fault anyway. And Deadman tells him, well, I can't argue with that. As Sandman pulls the trigger, the room begins to fill with a blue mist, and just as the Deadman begins to ask how long it's going to take, the two are transported to this new realm. But while Sandman sets them down, one of the sleepless knights bursts in. Aw, crap, I thought I'd have more time. Now it's just me alone against a nightmare. On guard! Meanwhile, elsewhere, Damien lands on the ground of this new place asking, is this the in-between, empty and limbo? Deadman says that it's called the Hollow. Not quite the waking world or the dreamscape. This is the space that they can see out of the corners of their eyes. He's heard it's called the reality stream as well. It doesn't take long before the pair begin to hear their names called out, and as they look up, they see two eyes looking down on them. The two walk up to the old house. Damien looks up to see the set of eyes looking down and says that insomnia is searching the nightmares, but he can't push into this realm. And Deadman says, this house. I visited the House of Secrets, and now the House of Mystery. This must be the House of Horror. We must be close to the Nightmare Stone. The two step through the doors, and everything begins to change as the inside turns into a circus ring. Deadman says that he can feel the Nightmare Stone. It wants to be found. This is why he could feel Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman were haunted. The Nightmare Stone wants him to find it. Damien looks off into the center of the ring asking, what is that? Because it looks like a body. And Deadman looks at the body. I know who that is. It's my lies. I always used to tell people that I was dead before I even hit the ground. That wasn't true. I felt the bullet. I felt the impact. Damien asks, why would the Nightmare Stone show them this? Deadman says because it's a test. Just like Wesley Dodds stopped the cult leader in his time, to possess the Nightmare Stone, it takes a sacrifice. So Deadman plunges his arm into the withering body, and as it begs for him to stop, Deadman digs deeper. In the real world, Sandman holds his ground against the construct, but just as it gets ready to deliver a killing blow, it begins to glow and is suddenly exploded. The guts and blood splatter everywhere as Sandman looks up to see Deadman and Damien have returned. But Deadman is now holding the Nightmare Stone. I have the stone. We could stop insomnia, and then his dreams will come true. And the story of Night Terrors is continuing. Batman just woke up in his book. I'll link that one down below. I'm assuming it takes place after this somewhere because Damien's basically like, hey, father, you're back and this is what's going on. So we'll see what's going on with that. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed today's storyline. I'm still really digging Night Terrors. I like what they're doing with this. I still wish that they didn't pause Dawn of DC, but hey, we can't have both, can we? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time right here at Comicstorian.